of the reasons that things never change is because our arguments just never seem to get resolved. So I help my private clients identify the patterns of kind of how they argue and disagree with one another, so we can do something about that and change it, right? And so it usually kind of looks something like this. So typically, he'll express something that he doesn't like or something that hurts him, maybe like "you don't appreciate me," right? And then she'll take that as a personal attack and feel like she needs to defend herself. And then he tries to get her to, see his side of things, right? And they kind of argue back and forth. It gets louder and louder, more argumentative. And then eventually somebody just kind of walks away, right? They don't speak to each other for a while, maybe a couple of days, depending on what that is. And then it just kind of blows over and nothing gets talked about again, right? So maybe that sounds kind of familiar for you. Problem with this pattern is that neither person ends up feeling heard or understood, and this pattern just repeats itself. So maybe it's in a few days, a few weeks, a few months, but it just goes on and on, right? So nothing ever changes. So once we can see that pattern, then we can learn new ways and make a conscious decision to interrupt that pattern and do something differently, so we get a different result, right? So, like most people, we express hurt to our partners in a way that feels really true for us, right? And so this is our perspective and not theirs. And when we take this stance, we end up kind of feeling like we need evidence to prove how we're right, and then we keep trying to show that to them. And when we do that, the argument never gets resolved, right? So we're arguing because we need to be right. And they're doing the same thing, right? So one of the ways that we could change this is that in the very beginning, we can express things just from our side, but just only from our perspective, right? So this way, no one really needs to be right because we're just going to share our feelings and our experience about what's going on. We aren't attacking. We aren't trying to make ourselves right. We're just letting our partner know how we feel about something, right? So instead of saying something like, "you never listen to me," right, which is automatically going to make the other person defensive, we could say something like, "I feel like maybe I'm not being clear, and I feel like I'm not being heard," right? So you can see how one small change